Greetings, all excellencies. A beautiful day. We are into 8th day of our World Peace Summit. Yesterday, there was a great session on SDG 7. Today, we have eminent excellencies who are going to enlighten us on SDG 8. Because for us, SDG 8 is very powerful because it talks about work, it talks about financial growth. So these are the two things which are interlinked with the society and to us, because they define us. These things will define us, what we are and who we are, and how our life is going on. So it's very crucial for our growth. It's very crucial for our survival, because we know that there is work, but whether that work is justifying or supporting their financial needs or not, that's a different matter. So that's why today we have eminent guests. Here today we have eminent Dame Dr. Muni from USA, who's a Hollywood celebrity coach, philosopher, philanthropist, best-selling author. All the way she joined from USA, having her excellent presence here. It's so great. And Mickey Di Gulati ma'am from Canada, very powerful lady. The way she runs her organizations in Canada, really it's commendable. And having her presence on this special day, really it's so great. And all the keynote speakers, all the panel speakers who are going to present today on this SDG 8, they are going to leave a mark. They're going to leave their mark on this topic. And we'll end with a beautiful insights on this special day. So once again, a beautiful day, a successful day in World Peace Summit. So with this note, I want to welcome you all onto the beautiful 8th day of World Peace Summit 2023 with the theme SDG 8. I request Professor Dr. Vijay Carlin ma'am to share a few words about the organization that we are running, Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, as managing director of our company. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and it is reaching to midnight also. I welcome all the excellencies globally, global leaders who joined us to enlighten us with their knowledge, with their experience. Especially the topic inspires everyone, which is very much required for the flourishment of life. I'm Dr. Carlin from India, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. We have done 7 days successfully. We have conducted World Peace Summit on virtual platform, discussed from 1 to 7, and we have invited all the eminent leaders globally, and they have given us great inputs, insights, and the knowledge, experience they shared, which we have noted, and we are confident that whatever the insights, inputs, and views they have given, the experience which they have shared, we noted, and we see that it will be implemented in future, not virtually, but physically. Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council mainly focus on world peace. We believe that individual peace starts within and it has to be expanded to the globe. So we want individual peace. So we have taken up many awareness programs focusing on financial growth, a peaceful life, having little to eat, at least the people, that community below poverty line mainly we deal with. Every day they face a lot of challenges. We encourage, we motivate. So such kind of awareness programs, as I'm a counseling psychologist, I have done many programs for the underprivileged community. We, Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, focus on Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17 at our level. we see that it will be implemented for the flourishment of the community, especially underprivileged, who are below poverty line. We have two organizations under the umbrella of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. One is Telangana Kala Parishad, mainly focus on cultural diversity. We believe cultural diversity in unity, as especially India, we have multi-cultures and great heritage. We want to expand the knowledge of Indian culture and its style of living to the total world. We want to showcase through our programs. So Telangana Kala Parishad has conducted many physical programs, especially exchanging the cultural diversity. We invited different states of India, and we have conducted physical programs bringing about the importance of cultural diversity in unity. As well as we Indians mainly depend on agriculture, and farmers are main support. When the farmers are facing problem during COVID time, and many of the farmers lost their lives because of the financial insufficiency, as the seeds for price are high and they cannot afford and they cannot support the family, many committed suicide. At that time, Telangana Kala Parishad supported the farmers and shown the solidarity. And during COVID time, the migrant workers face a lot of problem moving to their native places. And it's very difficult even to find proper transport. And the problems, the burning problems which they are facing, that is taken to the notice of the government, and government has taken immediate step to support the migrant workers. The Life Foundation especially, which is run by me, we focus mainly on the underprivileged. We have adopted 55 acres of slums, and we have seen that the slum children, especially girls and boys, have good education. We are trying our best level to impart quality education for the underprivileged children. We have set up study centers in the evening times. We run from 5:30 to 8:30. You may ask why it is in the evening. So daytime, they will be moving to different schools, private schools, government, whatever, wherever they are interested. But evening time is only a problematic in the slums, as it is filled with filthy environment and people with drug addicted. And the evening time, we are noticed in the year 2019 and 20, 2 rapes cases are came into the limelight. One is known to the social media, and the other was protected without knowing to the social media, because the family will be affected and known to the public, which they do not want. That kind of environment, you can understand, 6 years, 8 years, girls have been raped in the slum by the rapist. And evening when I moved to the slum, I noticed many were drunken straight. And through the ladies of the family came to know they were much addicted to the drugs. So because of the rape cases and all, I felt that girls and boys need to be protected. So I felt that only the study centers can protect them. So we have set up study centers in the slums. We started with 1 and moved to the 4th one. And 30 students we started initially, and in the year 2020, and now it is moved to almost the strength has been increased, hiked to 150 students. And earlier we can not even single child was 10th class, but now 6 children wrote 10th class exams in Telangana state. So in this way, we are empowering the girl children and boys children through education. And whoever visit our study center, they will be more happy seeing our lovely children who are much matured. And as a counseling psychologist, I've conducted many awareness programs, even for the younger children, how to protect themselves from the rapist. And they know now what is bad touch, good touch, what is a call, how they invite they knew very well and they protect themselves. So such kind of awareness programs we have conducted for the younger children, as well parents, how to take care of their family. And women need to be empowered. We have set up tailoring center, and now just within the span of 3 years, 30 women have trained up and they started their own tailoring center, supporting their family financially. During COVID time, they lost their jobs as the daily wage laborers and do not have proper work during COVID time, and servant mates are there in that environment, that is in the slums, and we supported them providing provisions, commodities, saris, quilts, etc., etc. In this way, the Life Foundation has done great service to the underprivileged. What we said on the Zoom platform, that we implemented physically, and we can say that many more activities and programs we are going to take up physically, and that will be implemented seriously for the underprivileged, for their upliftment. We want underprivileged to be protected and empowered. So that is our motto. So the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council focus mainly on poverty and education, along with the other sustainable development goals. And the government of India visited our office in Hyderabad, noted all the works we have done physically, and they are going to, they have expressed that they're going to support us in a near future. We are expecting good projects from the government of India, and we are going to take up with the collaboration that is from the international organization collaboration. We are going to take up the projects and implement effectively and efficiently for the upliftment of the underprivileged. So we, Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, are working seriously for the flourishment of the underprivileged and to attain peace in the society that will be expanded from family to the society, then to the nation globally. We want to attain peace globally, where women and children will be mainly facing problem during war conflicts, and financial economic growth also will be declined. And we want to see that the graph will be increased with our works at our level. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the beautiful interpretation of the services done by Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, Telangana Kala Parishad, and Life Foundation. These three are one under the Royal Council banner. Really a beautiful services that are being done. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for beautiful description of this works and services. Now we are going to start the day formally. As ma'am said, really we are expecting the great person of our nation, Honorable Home Minister's endorsement by the 18th of this summit. Already we have received so many endorsement nationally and internationally. Not only endorsement from Honorable Home Minister, we are planning to meet Home Minister, Prime Minister, and President of India as soon as possible. Actually, earlier some inquiries were made and we got clearance, but by the time we meet, due to some pandemic or some other issues, they were getting postponed. We are expecting after this pandemic, certainly we do get what the appointments and we meet. We are thinking so, and we wanted to represent the first thing, and we wanted to promote sustainable development goals. This is what we take into the consideration of Government of India. Hope it can be done soon. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Now we start the program officially. We have all our dignitaries having Her Excellency Dr. Muni here. We are feeling so happy. And my dear brother, Dr. Mr. Tarun Tiwari has joined. He is a philanthropist, philosopher, Jeho Foundation founder and president. He is a producer. He has been doing lots of work for the welfare of society. So today he is going to run the show because he is chairing the program. Last year, he along with our beloved Anita ma'am, they both done a commendable job. Almost 50% of the sessions were chaired by these two. So now, once again, he is back because this is a bit busy, but now he is back and he is going to chair the event. Mr. Tarun Tiwari, brother, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Dr. Rajarao ji, my brother, for your love, support, and faith on me. First of all, I would like to congratulate and I want to thank all the change maker available here, especially all dignitary chief guest, Madam Mori and Madam Mickey. Uh, as we are discussing global peace and SDG today, SDG 8 is the today's theme, and we are going to discuss about the decent work and economic growth. So before any delay, I would like to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Muni Ironi, from not a woman activist. She's CEO and founder of Art for Peace Award. She is a philanthropist. She is the author of best-selling book Get Balance. She is a celebrity coach, and she is a versatile woman with multiple talent. So I would request Honorable Excellency to please ignite the platform with your kind words.
Hello, everyone. Good night for someone, and namaste. Pranam, Ram Ramji, Om Namah Shivaya. Salam alaikum.
Very nice.
Ni hao, bonjour. Everybody is here, right? But my pleasure to be here today. I had a really, really tight schedule. That's why I was multitasking while I was waiting. Anyway, my pleasure to be here. This is my subject, world peace. I have done a lot of work on world peace, Korean peace, lifting sanctions from Turkey. I'm creating jobs, tourism, and healing. There is no peace unless we have jobs created. So every country, this trip, I have 8 countries I'm visiting. So India as well, I have bought some funding for India, and I'm planning on opening probably 4 projects. So I'm looking at least maybe minimum of 1,500 plus jobs are going to be created right in India. And this is a lot of work, but I'm gifted with this. I'm the cultivator of wealth. I'm gifted. It's my natural thing to do. So world peace will come from me. I am responsible for whatever happens out there. So I live a very peaceful life. Physical, mental, emotional well-being is the key. And world peace will come when we are all healthy and fit as well. Okay, so I'm living an optimum life. Everything I do is optimum. You see, my skin, I take care. My teeth is no cavity. Everything I have is me. I don't go to the doctors. This is also part of my peace. Peace starts from me. So I think self-sustainability is very, very important. People are talking about it, but they don't know how to cultivate. So on my table, everybody exists. I don't exist. And that's why everything comes from my work, because when you don't exist, other can exist on my table. So from here, I will be going to Liberia, then from Liberia to Egypt to Nigeria, presidential inauguration, from there to Uganda. So I have all these countries I'm creating.
Wow.
I have so many huge jobs are going on. So all of you who are listening to me, if you have a project that's completed and you have it, talk to me. Perhaps I can assist. But most of my work is done with the government, including in India, the finance minister, Mr. Modi, and World Bank. So I need these people to work with me so I can do what I have to do. And this is why I'm here in India. I extended for this reason. I was in Shillong. I will be doing a lot of work in Shillong because it's a beautiful area. People are hardworking, and it's very nice temperature too. The weather is nice, no smoke, nothing. So I'm looking forward for maybe at least maybe 4 projects, big one I'm bringing, God willing, to Shillong. So all of you, if we all work together, it's not just, see, everybody comes and talk about a world peace. What world peace anyway? I must have that peace in me. Can I live a peaceful life? So I have gone to so many world leaders, very good popular speakers, but there's nothing here. So can we create our heart energy to be peaceful here? So as you're peaceful here, I think peace will spread. People come next to me, the life changed. They become, I don't know what happens, the magic happens, that's all I can tell you, because we all energy connecting with the universe. So when you have positive energy and you serve people, it rubs off on other people too. That's why to keep your peace, I think everybody should think about keeping your culture, keeping your tradition, keeping your language. I spoke at the Northeast University in Shillong. They have 100,000 students. The longest conversation I had in the school, 4.5 hours of conversation. Q&A, professors and students. And even after 4.5 hours, nobody was leaving me. They had all kinds of questions on it. So my targets with my book is important because I have recipes there. I think you have a lot of Indian people here. Look, I'm in India. I cannot find vegetable. How do you like that? Everything is fried. That's why people are having serious health issues here. So I think for world peace is very important. We have a whole campaign on food, how to prepare food. They don't know how to eat food. So in my book, I have put together, even your biryani I made is better than your biryani, because everything is fried. They don't know what they're eating. So they're getting their calories from fried food. You see, this is, you cannot eat this food every day. I'm having hell of a time. So I'm making my smoothie. That's why I have this suite here where I can have my smoothie. I'm putting my things together. So I think India should have a whole campaign on how to prepare Indian food healthy, so they can eat. And most of them are malnourished. They say vegetarian, there's no protein. Protein is lacking because when they eat dal, they eat like this much. When I eat this much because I'm very physically active. So I make sure that I have protein. So whatever you need to do, if you don't have to be a vegetarian to be healthy. You can have some animal protein, a little bit, with a lot of vegetable, then you have a balanced diet. I'm a vegetarian anyway, but I'm just telling you, for a lot of men, it's important to have protein. So this is why I'm here. Physical, mental, emotional well-being will bring world peace. So I have impacted thousands and thousands of youth around the world with my living, or how I live. I'm not preaching. So you guys can visit Art for Peace Award, ART, number 4, Peace Awards YouTube channel. I put together almost 70, 80 videos. I have a lot of stuff, what I eat, what I do. So I think world peace will not come unless we all accept diversity.
Absolutely.
Diversity is a big issue in around the world. People have everybody pushing to convert them into their own faith, except one. The Jewish people will say, please don't convert. Don't convert into our religion. But it's very important, leave them alone and let them be who they are. You see, you go to Dubai, you see 400 some languages are spoken. You can practice whatever faith you want. This is called democracy. You can push people to become like you. It will be so boring. You imagine the whole India become Hindu. All the India. They're still going to be fighting. What kind of Hindu? You're this Hindu, you're this Hindu, you're this Hindu. They're still going to be fighting. So diversity, there's no end to diversity. You go in the park, you see different flowers. It looks more beautiful because diversity is created by the universe already. The Almighty already have created diversity. So can we accept who you are and just love you who you are? Can we do that? So I want you to reach out to your neighbor and say, my heart to your heart, love and peace. And we are one. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Beautiful, madam.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. Last year, we had a meeting about projects and all, but due to our commitments and your commitments, they were not fulfilled. But anyway, this time we met, and really we are honored, Excellency. Whenever you are in India, you message us where you are. It's Hyderabad, Telangana is far away from Delhi. But anyway, there will be a day when we meet very soon. Surely we collaborate and we work together on some platforms. So Professor Dr. Vijay Kalan, ma'am, over to you about the feedback of Her Excellency.
Yeah. Delighted, ma'am. The words are so inspiring. Every word is heart touching. It's very important. Yes, the creation itself spoke about the diversity. It's very important. So cultural diversity and living diversity, the living organisms we find different in nature. So diversity is very important to lead a prosperous life. As you said, peace starts within, ma'am. So we need to be peaceful with our attitude, behavior in all aspects. Then we can communicate with our neighbors with love and affection. That will be carried on globally. So what you said is right. And we are looking ahead for good projects from you, ma'am. As my brother said, so we will meet you and we'll discuss how best we can collaborate and for the betterment of the society. Thank you very much, ma'am. We are honored.
Tarun Tiwari, brother, we don't disturb you. Sorry.
No. Madam deserved this much,
Yes.
more.
Because we specially invited her, and she was, in spite of her busy schedule.
Yes, brother. And we are so fortunate that we have this kind of great lady, great mentor, great guide with us. Thank you so much, madam, for your precious words, and we will really appreciate all your thinking. And we cannot push anybody, but anybody can think and act as you guided us. Thank you so much, madam. Friends, today after madam, we have another great lady from Canada. She is also our chief guest today. She is director at Design Academy of Drama for Film and Television. She is member of Conservative Party of Canada and ICCC. Honor Design 800 Beauty School, 8,000 Beauty School. This is something unique, and we are so excited to welcome Honorable Excellency Miki Di Gulati, madam. Welcome, madam.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you, Dr. Raja and Dr. Caroline, for that wonderful introduction as well. And I'm indebted to Vishwa Humanity United International World Council for this wonderful opportunity. I understand that world peace is lacking in the world, but peace comes from within as well. But for some people, a decent job and economic growth counts as world peace. So let's, moving on to the topic, let's just take a look at some of the decent work and economic growth are important goals for any society. Decent work refers to work that is productive, provides fair wages and other social protections like insurance and all, and allows for safe and healthy working conditions. Economic growth, on the other hand, refers to the increase in the production and the consumption of goods and services within an economy. And I think India is doing pretty good right now. To promote decent work and economic growth, it is important to focus on the policies and initiative to create the employment opportunities provide education and training to prepare the workers for changing the economy, and promoting entrepreneurship, which we do at our academy as well, and innovation, which is very important. Don't stick to the old rules and regulations. Just bring some change by innovating different, scenario. It is also important to ensure that workers are treated fairly and have access to social protections such as healthcare, retirement benefits, and unemployment insurance, which Canada definitely does that to all its citizens and people who are on permanent residentship. Furthermore, addressing the gender pay gap, women getting paid more, men getting paid less. In some countries, men are getting paid more, women are getting paid less. Promoting diversity and inclusion and combating discrimination in the workplace can also contribute to the achievement of decent work and economic growth. Investing in infrastructure, research and development, and technology can also help stimulate the growth, economic growth. Overall, I believe that promoting decent work and economic growth requires multifaceted approach that involves collaborating between the governments, businesses, which Rajaji, you are doing, and actually you are doing pretty well. And I'm proud to be an Indian in that way. And I was amazed at listening to all the achievements you guys did together as a team during COVID, and it's commendable. Congratulations on that one. And decent work and economic growth are closely correlated because decent work is a fundamental component of a sustainable economic growth. I also believe that decent work refers to employment that is productive and delivers fair income again. In addition, decent work can promote economic growth and productivity, and it can also, bring higher profits to local businesses and increase economic growth overall. On the other hand, there's a lack of decent work opportunity. It can lead to poverty, inequality, and social unrest, which can ultimately hinder economic growth. Therefore, promoting decent work is very. I would like to cover some of the statistics here for decent work and economic growth, which say the employment rate is the percentage of the working age population that is employed. According to the International Labour Organization, 4% in 2020, and down from of the labor force that is unemployed but actively seeking employment. The global unemployment rate was 6.3 in 2020, up from 5.4% in 2019 due to the impact of COVID-19. Again, informal employment, which we usually do. Informal employment refers to work that is not regulated by labor laws and covered by social protection measures. According to the ILO, 61% of the world's employed population works in informal economy, with the highest rates in Africa and Asia. Youth unemployment is particular concern because it definitely hinders their mental growth and mental health as well. Can lead to long-term effects on career prospects and economic growth. According to the ILO, the global youth unemployment rate was 13.1% in 2020 and at 12.3% in 2019 due to the impact of COVID again. Gender pay gap. This is something which is actually, whether it is Canada, America, Western countries, or Middle East countries, Asian, I would say rather globally, the gender pay gap is different there's a big difference in average earnings between men and women, honestly. And according to the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap reported 2021, the global gender pay gap is currently 1.16%. with the highest pay gaps in Middle East and North Africa region. Mind you, I'm quoting and unquoting again, it is Middle East and North Africa regions. Again, the GDP is a big measure of the total value of goods and services produced in countries over a given period. According to the World Bank, not to forget, global GDP growth is projected to rebound in 5.6% in 2021, following a contraction of 4.3% in 2022 due to the impact of COVID again. Poverty rate This is, I believe, the last but not the least. Poverty rates measure the proportion to the population living below the poverty line. And trust me, it is all over the world. It's not only India, not only Middle East, not only Africa, not only Asia. I think North America has the biggest poverty rate, and most of them are homeless and living life on the streets. According to the World Bank, an estimated 9.2% and the world's population living in extreme poverty in 2020 defined a living on less than $1.90 per day. These are just few examples and statistics which can be, taken into consideration for economic growth. And in the end, I would like to say promoting decent work, economic growth is essential for achieving sustainable development goals, reducing poverty, and promoting social inclusion. It also contributes to the achievement of other sustainable developmental goals, such as reducing inequality, promoting gender equality, and ensuring sustainable consumption and production patterns. It was wonderful discussing on this topic because it also brought to my enlightenment, most of the world is living below poverty line. And if you are living below poverty line, there's no world peace. It leads to different kinds of crimes. Think about it, guys. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and have a wonderful evening across the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Excellency. Sorry, brother. I to disturb you. Thank you, Excellency. I'm not talking about your feedback, but I'm talking about your presence, because your feedback will be given by Carol ma'am and Tarun Tiwari, brother. First, we like your presence, Excellency. The way you present yourself to the society is a great, because you are a trendsetter or role model or a pioneer, something like that to women. Because many women leaders talk about women empowerment, but when they want to lead the life, they will abide by all the rules and regulations, customs, traditions. They kept them, but I think you are breaking barriers. It seems to be like that. Not only in that aspect, when it comes to work, when it comes to right on, brother. Yes, when it comes to work and when it comes to financial growth, the way you are leading all these, whatever the things that you are doing, 800 or 8,000, really, that's a remarkable. And you are a best live example. I can say that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. You are inspiring us with your life. Thank you so much. There will be a day when we think about your experiences and all. The day will come, and we surely do that. But before that, I request Professor Dr. Vijay Kalli to say a few words about the beautiful inputs put by you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I love madam's body language, especially. It inspires me a lot. A woman need to be so confident, a little dominative nature. That is important also in the society. So the eye contact, expression, facial expression, everything I observe as a soft skill trainer, I'm observing ma'am. So it really inspires me, ma'am. One should be empowered with our behavior and attitude also. As the topic goes, you're well experienced, well knowledgeable. So definitely your inputs, insights, and knowledge which you have shared is commendable, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Over to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Excellency. Peace, definitely it comes later, fulfilling basic need and financial worry. And you already, proven woman leader, you're empowered woman. So when, we listen something from, lady like you, we must admire that. And we really appreciate, madam. Thank you so much. And now, as we have one more leading lady with us, as today everywhere ladies are leading, we can see many nations, like India, we have Draupadi Murmu madam, and many other countries like Bangladesh, many big nations where, leaders are women, and definitely they are changing the world. So we have very special guest, Dr. Naira Radwan from Saudi Arabia. She is a quality assurance officer for the PhD program, associate professor, mechanical department, faculty of engineering. So, madam, we would love to hear something from you on today's theme, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth.
Thank you for the nice introduction. And greetings all. Good afternoon, good morning. Good afternoon from Saudi Arabia. Actually, I'm Egyptian, but now I'm living in Saudi Arabia and working there. I'm associate professor and the quality assurance officer for the PhD program in King Abdulaziz University in Saudi Arabia. I'm also associate professor in the mechanical department, faculty of engineering in Suez Canal University in Egypt. I'm so happy to be with you today. Thanks for all respected speakers, for all audience that I have this chance to be with you today. Today I will focus about a very important issue about the SDG 8, which is some ideas to achieve this goal. But please give me the chance to give a simple introduction about what the meaning of Sustainable Development Goals. The Sustainable Development Goals are a set of 17 global goals adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. These goals are designed to provide a universal framework for countries and stakeholders to work together towards more sustainable and equitable world. The Sustainable Development Goals cover a range of issues related to social, economic, and environmental sustainability, including poverty, hunger, health, education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work, and economic growth, which is our target today. Also, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and the communities, responsible consumptions and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, just and strong institutions, and partnership for the goals. All these goals are designed to be interconnected and holistic, recognizing that progress in one area can have a positive impact on the other areas. The goals are also inclusive and inclusive with each other, with an emphasis on engaging all stakeholders, including governments, civil society, private sectors, and individuals. These goals aim to provide a roadmap for sustainable development that is integrated and balanced, recognizing that economic, social, and environmental sustainability are interdependent and mutually reinforcing. By working together to achieve these goals, countries and stakeholders can help to create a major equitable and sustainable world for all. Now, let us focus about Sustainable Development Goal number 8. Sustainable Development Goal number 8 refers to the goal number 8 for among these 17 goals. It aims to achieve higher levels of economic productivity through diversification, technological upgrading, and innovation, including through a focus on high value added and labor intensive sectors. It also promoting policies that support job creation and entrepreneurship, especially for women and youth, and reducing informal employment. It also focuses about improving access to financial services and markets for small and medium-sized enterprises. It also ensuring safe and secure working environments for all workers, including any types of workers in any age, and promoting decent work conditions. It also focuses about combating forced labor, modern slavery, and human trafficking, and eliminating child labor in all its forms. Another target, it is protecting labor rights and promoting safe and secure working environment for all workers, including those in the informal economy. SDG 8 also recognized that economic growth and employment are critical for reducing poverty and achieving sustainable development. However, it also emphasizes the importance of ensuring that economic growth is inclusive and sustainable, and that all workers have access to decent work and fair labor conditions. So let us focus about why this goal is important globally. Actually, this goal is important globally for many reasons. It is important because it addresses the fundamental issues of economic growth, employment, and decent work for all. Economic growth and job creation are essential for reducing poverty, promoting social inclusion, and achieving sustainable development. By promoting sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, this goal can contribute to achieve a range of other goals, such as reducing inequality, improving health and education outcomes, and promoting sustainable consumption and production patterns. The importance of these goals also come from that it emphasizes the importance of decent work for all, which includes fair wages, safe and health working conditions, and protecting of labor rights. This is important for promoting social justice and reducing inequality. Achieving this goal can also help to reduce vulnerability of workers, especially in developing countries, to economic shocks and social crises such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Another importance that this goal is important component for the global agenda for sustainable development, and it provides a roadmap for promoting economic growth, employment, and decent work in a way that is sustainable and inclusive and help to create a better future for all. Actually, we have many challenges to achieve this goal. The most important challenge are achieving this goal, which focus on promoting sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, employment, and decent work for all, is a significant challenge that many countries face. Some of the major challenges are economic inequalities, informal economy, youth employment, gender inequality, climate change, and lack of investment. Overall, achieving this goal requires a comprehensive approach that addresses these and other challenges, including policy changes, investment in education and infrastructure, and social protection measures, among others. Finally, let me introduce some ideas to achieve Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030. Some of these ideas are: number one, promote entrepreneurship and support small and medium-sized entrepreneurs, which should be done by governments, Governments can provide financial support, training, and monitorship to enterprises to help them grow and create jobs. Another idea, to invest in education and vocational training by providing education and vocational training opportunities, which can help individuals acquire the skills and knowledge necessary to secure good jobs and contribute to economic growth. Idea number 3, to encourage private sector investment. Governments can create a favorable business environment that attracts private sector investment, which can help to create and stimulate economic growth. Idea number 5, address gender and youth employment gaps. This is going to be done by governments. Governments can implement policies that promote gender equality and youth employment, such as increasing access to education and training, providing child care support, and eliminating discriminatory hiring practices. Number 5, improve labor market information system. Government can improve labor market information system to provide timely and accurate information in job opportunities, skills in demand, and labor market trends, which can help job seekers and employers make more informed decisions. Another idea, address informal employment. It could be done also by governments, which can develop policies that support informal workers, such as by providing access to social protection programs and promoting formalization. Another idea, eliminate child labor and forced labor. Government can enforce laws and regulations that prohibits child labor and forced labor and promote decent work conditions for all workers. Another idea, invest in infrastructure. It could be done by invest in infrastructure such as roads, energy, and water supply, which can help to stimulate economic growth and create jobs. Another idea, promote sustainable tourism. Government can promote sustainable tourism that generate economic benefits while preserving natural and cultural resources and promoting local employment. Finally, support innovation and technology transfer. It can be done by promoting innovation and technology transfer by supporting research and development. It could be done in our universities, in our labors. Also by investing in infrastructure and providing incentives for private sector innovation. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Excellency. Thank you for all your ideas. I would like to tell our President, Honorable President, Madam, for a few words.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. What all the ideas you have put forward in front of us, those are very important and interesting. And that has to be implemented. Then the people will be having society, community, nations will be having a financial growth and also a peaceful life they can lead, as you said. And especially innovation and technology will be playing a great role for the betterment of the society and the nation and the world. That is very important. So being a mechanical associate professor, definitely your ideas are appreciable and inviting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. So after three great ladies from USA, Canada, and Saudi Arabia, we have one change maker man also with us. He is Brother Raymond from Philippines. He is accredited competency assessor at Technical Education Skill Development Authority, TESDA. So we would like to hear from you, brother. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taron Tiwari. And good evening, everyone. A pleasant day, and mabuhay from the Philippines. My name is Raymond Banzuela, and I am one of the accredited competency assessor under the technical and vocational education skills training here in our country. And it is a great honor for me to be one of the speakers today at your prestigious event. So the World Peace Summit, and thank you very much for this privilege. And please allow me to share my slide.
Yes, brother, you can. You are co-host now.
Thank you. Can you see my slide?
Yes, brother, perfectly.
All right. Okay. All right. So leave no one behind is the official motto of the United Nations. We all know for the Sustainable Development Goals, and it served as the guiding principle of all world leaders of 193 countries in solving the most pressing problems of today. And one of these goals is to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all.
Hey,
Ayan, all right. So this means that economic growth should be positive force for the whole planet. And this is why we must make sure that financial progress creates decent and fulfilling jobs while not harming the environment. So we must protect labor rights and once for all puts a stop to modern slavery and child labor. So if we promote job creation with expanded access to banking and financial services, we can make sure that everybody gets the benefit of entrepreneurship and innovation. Program, our DWCP Philippines of 2020 to 2024 reflects shared priorities of the government workers and employers in the country, focusing on the employment, labor market governance, and social protection to make the country better. So the ILO assists its member countries in developing the DWCP in ways that are appropriate for their national social and economic development priorities in order to help move towards making decent work a reality and to sustain tripartite efforts in ways that are appropriate for them. So the DWCP's priority are consistent with the Philippine Development Plan and the Ambition Natin 2040, and it is also based on the Sustainable Development Goals and the United Nations Partnership for Sustainable Development, and both of which emphasize leaving no one behind. And yeah, our country with regards to the Philippine Development Plan is composed of enhancing the social fabric or malasakit in a Filipino language. And to achieve this, we have to ensure people-centered, clean and efficient governance, pursuing swift and fair administration of just and of course promoting our Filipino culture and values. And then another initiative of the Philippine Development Plan is to inequality reducing transformation or pagbabago in our native language. And this has to ensure expanding economic opportunities in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, expanding the economic opportunities in the industry and services through trabaho and negosyo. or job and business, accelerating the human capital development, reducing vulnerabilities of individuals and families, and of course, building safe and secure communities. So increasing growth potential or patuloy na pag-unlad is also the goal of the development plan, which composed of reaching for the demographic dividend and vigorously advancing science, technology, and innovation. And furthermore, other things here is enabling and supportive economic environment, which comprises of ensuring sound macroeconomic policy and leveling the playing field through a national competition policy. And lastly, the foundation for sustainable development, and this has something about attaining just and lasting peace, ensuring security, public order and safety, accelerating infrastructure development, and of course, ensuring ecological integrity, clean and healthy environment. So how can the Philippines achieve this, including here in our development plan is the implementation, of course, and monitoring. So the coordination among government agencies, the private sector, the civil society, and the development partners is required for this project to be implemented. So the coordination's efficiency is determined by adherence to intended outcomes, whereas the plan's effectiveness is measured by the extent of improvement in the quality of life of Filipinos, particularly the poor and marginalized. So using data from the Philippine Statistics Authority, the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA Secretariat, will monitor the headlines indicators at the national and the sub-national levels, including the real gross domestic product growth, real per capita income growth, poverty and subsistence rates in both rural and urban areas, and of course the employment outcomes. And through the collaboration with the implementing agencies, NEDA will also prioritize and sequence strategies, policies, and programs, including proposed legislation, in addition to the annual socioeconomic report. This will be reported to the appropriate NEDA board committees, cabinet clusters, and the interagencies committees. All right, so by 2040, the life of all Filipinos is expected to enjoy a strong, rooted, comfortable, and secure life. So strong-rooted meaning Filipino families live together. There is work-life balance so that there is time to spend with family, even for members who work. On weekends, families and friends enjoy time together in parks and recreational centers. And it is a high-trust society with a strong sense of community. And there are volunteer opportunities, and Filipinos spend time to serve the community, help others who are in need, and contribute to the various causes. Comfortable in a sense of no one is poor. So no one is ever hungry. Filipino families live in comfortable homes with the desired amenities and secure tenure. Families and friends are within reach because transport is convenient and affordable, and they can take a vacation together within the country and abroad. So children receive quality education so that they realize their full potentials and become productive members of society. So decent jobs that bring sustainable income are available, including opportunities for entrepreneurship. And of course, they feel secure over their entire life. They expect to live long and enjoy comfortable life upon retirement. And there are resources to cover the expenses, and there are savings. They feel safe in all places in the country. Filipinos trust their government because it is free of corruption and provides service to all its citizens equally. So that's the ambition of the Philippine government by 2040. Sorry. All right, so TESDA, to which I am accredited and affiliated, has shared their milestone through this National Technical Education and Skills Development Plan, or NTESDP milestone of 2018 to 2022, which expresses and highlights the most notable policies, programs, and projects implemented by the technical vocational education and training, or TVET sector, in pursuit of the plan's objectives. As part of its mandate under TESDA Section 21 of Republic Act 7796, TESDA collaborated with key players in the defense sector, the government, the industry, the labor sector, the academic sector, the national government organizations, and even learners, of course, to develop and implement this comprehensive plan for the Philippine Tibet. So the milestone report details how the plan's objectives were translated into concrete policies and programs in a concerted efforts to prepare our learners and workers for the challenges of an ever-changing world. The report also highlights achievements in leveraging TVET for social inclusions and poverty reduction by increasing Filipino employability. So the milestone also include how the Tibet sector responded to the challenges posed by the Fourth Industrial Revolution and, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. So TESDA has continued to adapt and implement various strategies in order for the Tibet providers and the sector as a whole to capitalize on opportunities and overcome challenges, allowing the learners, the communities, and the economy to become more resilient in the post-pandemic digital age. All right. So, okay, so TESDA is required by law to develop a medium-term 6-year plan for the development of the middle-level workforce that will guide all stakeholders, the government, industry, academe, local and international organizations, students, and the general public in the development of the middle-level workforce. And then, right? Yeah. So in accordance with this mandate, the TESDA, in collaboration by its partners and relevant sectors, has developed this National Technical Education Skills Development Plan. The fourth in series of such plans is to mobilize and encourage full participation of industries, labor, government units, and relevant educational institutions in the development of Philippine human capital resources. And the National Technical Education Skills Development Plan. Yeah. All right. So serve as the compass that guides technical vocational education and training actors, movers, and learners in developing responsive policies and implementing programs for the sector, as well as supporting the national government's broader development goals and objectives. So this plan envisioned a vibrant, quality Tibet for a decent work and sustainable inclusive growth. And this overarching theme is the rallying cry that primes the TESDA and its partner to achieve this plan primary objective of galvanizing and strengthening the Tibet sector through a two-pronged strategic thrust, like the global competitiveness and workforce readiness, and social equity for workforce inclusions and poverty reduction. Okay, so this plan has identified the country's key employment generators and divided this into 3 groups. The first group consists of industries with large employment bases and rapid growth. During the plan period, these industries are expected to generate the greatest number of jobs: hotel, tourism, restaurant, construction, business processing, outsourcing, and transportation. Communication and storage are among them. So the second category includes industries with large employment base but a negative or minimal growth rate in the past. However, because these industries contribute significantly to the economy of value-added and employment, the government wishes to revitalize and strengthen them. Agriculture, fisheries, and forestry, including agro processing and manufacturing, are among them. So food manufacturing leads the way in this category, accounting for 40% of manufacturing gross value added. Then comes electronic, which accounts for half of the Philippine exports. And the third group is composed of industries in health, wellness, and other social services with high growth rates and good economic multiplier effects. So this plan has identified problem areas that challenge the TVET sector. Experts believe that rapid technological advancements will render many jobs obsolete. And this would make it difficult for the country's TVET providers to keep up with the fast pace of innovation, technological changes, and advanced workforce skill requirements. And another issue is the low employability of the Philippine vet graduates, which stands at only 65%. So TVET providers are frequently chastised for providing and producing low-level skills and technical education. And this reality spills over in the labor economy, which is characterized by a 70-30 ratio of low-value work to mid to high-value jobs. The second one is the full implementation of tech book courses under the K-12 program has worsened the sector's lack of facilities and equipment, qualified trainers and assessors and other resources because the Philippine Tibet sector is largely supply driven. This reality exacerbates job and skills mismatch and underemployment. And then the migration of Filipino workers is also causing a brain and bronze drain, reducing the pool of the qualified and skilled workers. So in 2013, there were 10.2 million Filipinos living abroad. And furthermore, there has been a decrease in the number of industry enterprises participating in Tibet as evidenced by the low enrollment of enterprise-based modality training, despite the fact that it is the most successful modality in terms of employability, with an average employment rate of 68.9%. And lastly, access to TVET is also a problem. So due to the limited funding and other limited resources, certain sectors are not served or reached by TVET. So one such sector is the marginalized and disadvantaged poor, which accounted for 21.6% of the population in 2015. And we have here an objectives for this plan to address these problems and the challenges are number one, create a conducive and enabling environment for the development and quality service delivery of the Tibet sector, prepare the Philippine workforce for the challenges posed by the fourth industrial revolution, assure industries with high economic and employment growth potential and provide them the required quantity of posed or by the the high economic and employment growth potential and provide them the required quantity of quality workforce. And number four, directly and more vigorously address workforce needs of the basic sectors and the disadvantaged and instill values and integrity in the conduct and delivery of the TVET in the whole sector. Right. So the accomplishment of this goal has been recognized to pave way for the changes in how the Philippines should view the world of work, and as well as influence and create new ways of thinking, learning, and working. So the TESDA recognizes that a more knowledgeable and skilled workforce, innovative and sustainable approaches, globally competitive standards, and ease of access and mobility for TVET stakeholders are all required in today's world of work. So this plan is intended to address these needs and has proposed strategic responses to the 5 objectives, and they are number 1, that TVET with agility. This is to prepare the Philippine workforce for global competitiveness and future world of work. TVET with scalability, deliver high quality, job ready, quality workforce, and of course, Tibet with flexibility and sustainability for social equity and economic inclusion. And these strategic responses are relusively supported by the organizational initiative, such as the Tibet with conducive and enabling environment for development and quality service delivery, and Tibet with integrity to instill sector credibility and client confidence. So these responses are intended to enable Tibet to remain vigilant and adaptable to sector changes. This plan focuses on the preparation and anticipation of stakeholders' needs through skill forecasting and anticipation, as well as other research and development approaches. Close engagement with clients to keep pace with their demands for the workplace and to be responsive to societal needs in general, and the development of a comprehensive, inclusive, and equitable service delivery to all Filipinos. So in order for the sector to remain relevant, so the TESDA and Tibet sector commit to address issues, problems, and gaps identified in the previous plan. And then to summarize, this plan as part to pursue and achieve quality Tibet for all, which is the TESDA commitment. So how can TESDA contribute to the manpower and economic development of our country? The TESDA is a government organization in the Philippines that provides a free technical, vocational, and training programs. Filipino who wishes to enhance their existing skills or learn new skills can get it from TESDA. And the organization is also responsible for certifying the competency of workers in various industries. And TESDA's main goal is to provide a quality education and training programs to Filipino citizens so they can be employed in various industries. So the organization also aims to certify the competency of workers in different fields, thus helping them acquire better job opportunities. All right. So as of now, based on the 2019 survey of the Philippine Statistical Authority on Target 3 of Sustainable Development for Quality Education, the Philippines has been providing millions of people already with access to technical and vocational education, with 2,385,473 enrolled in VET courses, while the graduates here are 2,252,208. And if we compare the passing rates in the professional licensure examination, the certification rate of Tibet reaches 92.4%. And also due to the in-demand vocational courses, there are more Filipinos who are interested here because there are many opportunities they can get. And recently, in January 2023, the TESDA management issued a statement of the preliminary report of their study on the employment of Tibet graduates. And it was announced that 8 out of 10 TechBook graduates were hired, given that Tibet sector an employment rate of 84.72%, and this study is conducted annually to assess the relevance and effectiveness of TechBook program, while the certification rate of the 93% wherein 751,500 out of 8,227 assessed successfully earned their national certificates in their respective qualification. And according to the Director General of this authority, these graduates are job ready and have necessary skills and knowledge to get job or start businesses almost immediately after graduation. So as a quality assured organization, TESDA kept its ISO 901-2015 certification and its core processes, which includes standard development, program registration and assessment, and certification. All right. So, according to the Publicus Asia Pahayag 2022 end of the year survey, TESDA received the highest approval and trust rating among government agencies, while TESDA has consistently ranked first in the Publicus Asia survey. Said this is the first time in 2 years that the agency has ranked first in both approval and trust rating. And this accomplishment can be attributed to the policies and a strategic program pursued by the agencies for the TVET sector in accordance with the two-pronged strategic thrust of the National Technical Education and Skills Development Plan. And Tibet for global competitiveness and workforce readiness, and Tibet for social equity and poverty reduction. All right. So as you can see in my slide, this is the training that I provide in our institution. Whereas as a Tibet trainer, I ensure that all of my learners can adapt what they should learn in order to be prepared for societal challenges, whether local or international. And I guarantee that all of my instruction will be in accordance with the TESDA designated training regulation, which has been agreed upon by the industry, academia, and government. And we shape these students to be competitive in their fields, and we ensure that all of their activities are anchored with the industry demand worldwide. And fortunately, 80% of my students already have good jobs in the community, and the remaining is already in abroad, and where the course they chose is also their job. And it's amusing because some have started their own businesses. All right. So such as restaurant and event management services. And I'm very happy because we are part of our community that has been able to contribute to our government's goal of providing good service and quality training to our countrymen so that they can have a decent job and contribute significantly to the growth of the economy. And as you can see in my slide, I'm proud to share with you one of my successful learners under events management and food and beverage service courses, where he built his own business and continues successfully until now. And his clients are many and enjoy his service. So everything he learned in our training, he applies until now. And he is really thankful that he had the opportunity to study for free in our school through the scholarship fund of TESDA. And apart from the tuition fee, he also received while studying his daily allowance. So the services he caters are different types of occasions, such as wedding, birthday, debut, baptismal, etc. And he also used all the talents he learned when he was still in training, such as flower arranging, different balloons making, or different balloons design, table setup, napkin folding design, linen sorting, etc. And this student of mine started with a small investment until as his clients increased and his income grew. So he gradually brought his things to increase the supplies, tools, and furniture that he could use on a bigger occasion. All right.
Brother, conclude it, brother. Please.
So I hope I've been able to share some of the issues and concern here in our country and community, as well as how we're improving it to achieve the expected goal, particularly in obtaining a decent job and contributing significantly to the country's economic growth. So let's join our hands together and let's help each other to fight poverty and hunger by providing effective, efficient, and quality education to our youth so that they can have a good future and a decent job, and by helping to lift our economy. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a great day and God bless us all. Thank you so much, Dr. Raja Rao.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Rahman, for your wonderful presentation in fact and figure. It was lengthy, but it was good. Thank you for your valuable time. After four, eminent speaker from USA, Canada, Philippines, and Saudi Arabia, we have two great lady, women change maker from our motherland, India. I would like to invite as a keynote speaker, Dr. Supriya Lamba Sehdev. She is associate professor. She is HOD Marketing International Program Manager from Bangalore, India. So welcome, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Tarun Tiwari, for giving me this opportunity. And a big thanks to Dr. Raja Rao and Dr. Carolina for having such a wonderful, platform where people from all across the world have joined in. And a special thanks to Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council for having such events in place and the kind of contribution that they are doing to the society. Formally, good evening, good afternoon, and a good morning to all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor for me to be here today on this virtual platform as a guest speaker to discuss one of the most critical global challenges of our time, that is Sustainable Development Goal number 8. As we all know, SDG 8, that stands for Decent Work, Economic Growth, indeed is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set forth by the United Nations long time back in 2015. The goal aims to promote not just sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, but they also focus on full and productive employment and at the same time decent work for all. Achieving these SDGs, SDG 8 indeed is crucial for the overall well-being of the society. A lack of decent work and economic growth leads to poverty, which we all know, and ultimately it leads to inequalities and exclusions. It also negatively impacts the kind of health, education status that our countries have, and other areas of development that we focus upon today. We all are aware of the economic challenges the world is facing today with the COVID-19 pandemic exacerbating the situation for millions of people around the world. Indeed, as we continue to recover from this pandemic, it is very much imperative on our part that we work together and we create a more sustainable and a more resilient economy that promotes decent work and economic growth for all. The private sector, the governments, the civil societies, and the individuals all have a role to play here in making sure that we achieve the SDG 8. We must work together to promote innovation, invest in education and training, and create decent job opportunities. That, in a way, will provide fair wages and benefits to all. As we move forward in our efforts to achieve SDG 8, we must ensure that there is no one left behind. We must address specifically the gender gap and promote equal opportunities for all, protect the right of workers, and at the same time, we must recognize the importance of sustainable production and consumption, which not only benefits the environment around us, but also promotes the kind of economic growth that we are looking forward to have. According to SDG 8, it is not only a moral imperative, but it is also essential for building a sustainable future, which is for all. And I believe my co-presenter, Mr. Raymond, just spoke about it. And he put it in the right words when he said so, that let us work together toward a world where everyone has an access to decent work, economic growth, and a brighter future. Now, talking about the same, I would like to throw light upon that what exactly this SDG 8 is all about. So all of you know that it is one of the 17 goals that have been set by the United Nations long time back in 2015 as a part of the 2030 agenda under the Sustainable Development. And it aims to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Now, when I look at it from the perspective of peace and SDG, indeed, peace is essential for achieving the SDG 8, as it promotes a more stable and a more secure, environment for the economic growth and the development that we're looking forward to have. In countries that are affected by the conflict, or you can say the violence, businesses really can't thrive. And people really cannot have, access to decent work opportunities, like, for example, what is happening right now in Ukraine. Peaceful and stable societies, on the other hand, indeed can attract a lot of investment. They can promote trade, they can create jobs that will really lift people out of poverty. Furthermore, when we talk about SDG 8, it also emphasizes, and it gives a lot of importance to promoting safe and secure working environments, protecting labor rights, ensuring, equal opportunities for all. Peaceful societies can have, for sure, better goal achievement by promoting social inclusion, addressing all sorts of, equalities, and at the same time combating the discrimination which is there. So when we talk about peace and SDG 8, indeed they are interconnected. A peaceful and a stable environment is necessary condition for achieving something which we call as sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, which includes full and productive employment and decent work for all. Now, talking about the specific targets of the SDG 8, which are there. So one of them is achieving, higher levels of economic productivity, and that is through diversification, technological upgrading, and innovation. It also includes promoting policies that encourage entrepreneurship, job creation for all, specifically, for women and young people. Keeping in mind that, India has got a good percentage of young people here. And at the same time, it focuses upon improving access to financial services, support the kind of growth that micro, small, and medium enterprises really look forward to have. It also ensures that all the workers have access to safe, secure working conditions, social protection, and labor rights. It indeed focuses upon eliminating any form of forced labor, human trafficking, and at the same time, child labor. And it promotes the development and implementation of policies that support sustainable tourism that creates a lot of job opportunities and local culture and products promotion. Talking about SDG 8 also helps in enhancing the kind of participation of developing countries in the global economy. And that is simply through, enhancing the kind of international cooperation that we can have and the kind of support that we can get from technological transfers and innovation. Achieving this SDG 8 is no doubt, crucial for creating a sustainable and equitable future where everyone has got access to opportunities for economic growth and decent work. Now, when we talk about this SDG 8, there is, status which is given to countries, keeping in mind the kind of, status they are standing at. Developed countries, when we talk about, have made indeed, a lot of progress towards achieving SDG 8. They have low unemployment rates, higher labor productivity, higher wages. However, when we talk about them, they still face a lot of challenges in reducing the kind of, income inequality that they have, and at the same time, providing the decent work for all. On the other hand, when we have developing countries, they are making strides. They have made progress in achieving the SDG 8. But still, if you ask me, there is still a long way to go when we talk about them, as they face, challenges like the high unemployment rates, high, a lot of low labor productivity, inadequate, social production measures, which are still facing a lot of significant challenges in achieving this SDG 8. They have high rates of informal unemployment, low labor productivity, inadequate social production measures. However, some of the least developed countries have made progress in reducing the poverty and at the same time promoting the economic growth. Then we have the small island developing states, which we call as the SIDS. They are facing unique challenges when we talk about achieving the SDG 8, keeping in mind that they have small size, lot of vulnerability there to, to the external shocks that they undergo, the kind of limited resources they have. And this all have made the progress in promoting the sustainable tourism and diversifying, their economies. So in a nutshell, if you ask me, there is a lot of need for greater efforts, a lot of investments to be made to achieve the SDG globally. And this includes promoting, a lot of inclusive economic growth, creating decent jobs, investing indeed in education, which is the need of the hour, a lot of skill development there, strengthening, the social protection measures. So when we talk about all these measures, I believe one of the key speakers have already spoken about it, but I would like to throw a little light there again, talking about how we can actually achieve this SDG 8. And the very first one talks about promoting entrepreneurship. That is through encouraging the growth of SMEs, small and medium enterprises, through access to finance, market linkages, technical support that they need. And they will also help, create new jobs, increase productivity, particularly, when we talk about it in the informal sector. And then we can also, mention one of the other ways that really helps and can help in, making sure that SDG 8 is achieved, and that is investment in education and at the same time skill development. Keeping in mind that education and skill development no doubt can improve the kind of employability a country is having, and it can enable workers to adapt to the kind of changing job requirements. And at the same time, this all can be done by investing a lot in the vocational training, the kind of internships and the other forms of skill development that are taking place these days, with a lot of robust there. And at the same time, we must not forget and forgive that fostering innovation and the kind of technological advancements can also help in achieving the SDGs. They can promote innovation, technological advancements can actually help us in having create new products, new services, even increase productivity, come up with new job opportunities. And this can be achieved by doing a bit of investment there in R&D, promoting the entrepreneurship, and at the same time facilitating the technological transfer which is required. We can also achieve the SDG by ensuring decent work to be given to all, and this will help us create an enabling environment which will promote decent work, which includes not just protecting the working rights, but also giving the benefits to the workers in the form of fair wages, and at the same time providing them with a lot of healthy and safe working conditions. When we talk about SDG 8, it can again be achieved with the help of eliminating discrimination, which usually takes place in the workplace, especially on the basis of gender, race, religion, disability. This will, in a way, will help create a more inclusive, a more diverse workforce, and yes, indeed, the ultimate goal of promoting equality. The SDG, again, can be achieved with the help of sustainable economic growth, and by fostering it. And when we talk about fostering the sustainable economic growth, I am talking about promoting it with the help of environmentally sustainable practices, and at the same time reducing any sort of waste, any sort of pollution there. This will indeed ensure the economic growth, which is not achieved otherwise at the expense of the environment. At the same time, when we talk about SDG 8, one important point that I would like to make here, and that is promoting global partnerships. That is bringing people together, not just to share their knowledge, their expertise, and their resources, but at the same time, businesses coming together, civil societies coming together, other important stakeholders, coming together and ensuring to create a more inclusive and sustainable economy for each one of us. And this indeed, in a way, will help us achieving the SDG 8, which requires multi-stakeholders approach, involving governments of all the countries that we have, the private sectors we have, the civil societies, and the other stakeholders. Indeed, collaboration and partnership are their marriage is quite essential here to ensure that sustained, inclusive, sustainable economic growth and full and productive employment and decent work for all is achieved. And with this, I rest here. My opinion. Over to you, Mr. Tarun.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much for your wonderful input. And really, I'm so much fortunate that I got opportunity to listen great leader from all the part of world and especially from India. We have one more great lady as a keynote speaker, Dr. Manju Gupta.
Yes, brother. Manju Gupta ma'am is on journey.
Okay.
She will join at 9.
Okay.
She will join a bit late. I'll take care of her.
Brother.
Meanwhile, we invite the great financial expert. He's a producer, philosopher, philanthropist, and Jeho Foundation president and founder. But in money marketing and financial issues, money experts and whatever it may be, he's an expert, having his presence today as a chair. And he wanted to give some advice because I want to listen to it. Over to dear brother for wonderful speech of yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, brother. And before, as few people are new here, so let me introduce myself before I share my thing. I'm Tarun Tiwari. I'm founder and chairman of Jeho Foundation from Chhindwara, Madhya Pradesh. I'm a philanthropist by nature and activity in rural area of Western India. As a social activity, corporate experience, service provider, and specialization, I have 5 points. I just want to tell you last point. Fundraising and implementation guidance service started for NGO, foundation, and trust. Planning, complete roadmap, project report, and professional service. It helped client company to increase their effectiveness and productivity in their program in India and abroad. So as we are talking about SDG 8, financial well-being is the foundation of health. Justice and equality are the byproduct of poverty. Charity is the secondary, but self-help is the primary. So fund and finance are the source of revenue and lifeline. Now it's time for the action to support humanity. Money is the key and the lock. In WPS, in World Peace Summit, we have solution within us. I request you all respected dignitaries to support me to open one financial institution, World Peace Summit Bank, WPS Bank app organization, to support needy people to start their profession, business, etc. for livelihood, for bread and butter, and humanitarian services, social services. If you all allow me to support to initiate the task, I'm sure shall start soon NBFC, non-banking financial corporation in India chapter. Yes, it is possible. It is our member contribution only. If we contribute only $1,000, we can start in 90 days. We can work in Pain India. If you allow me to introduce the app for the banking like PhonePe, Paytm, digital platform, Our supporters in India can contribute for the peace spreading campaign just simply by using our app. So time has given success. We heard story by time to time. You all know about the Rolex, the big watch brand. Rolex is owned by a private trust, and in 2023, this year, the revenue of Rolex is 13 billion USD. So you can understand, we shall introduce concept message-oriented merchandise like being human and all. You heard about that, selling online, e-commerce, etc. Made from world-class quality from international trained NGO team, self-help group, and our own World Peace Summit members. So we can get the support from public, from NGOs, like-minded people from all the continents. And they can buy our membership, green bond, shares in NBFC. They can do fixed deposit and many other options. We can spend WPS Bank, World Peace Bank in all countries for humanity and support livelihood for needy people. People earn money and do charity for get rid of guilt of unfair trade and business tactics. We do little bit business for not feeling guilty when we are helpless financially to we want to support millions of people. For that we can start sponsored program on education training, how to get better livelihood, as Madam Supriya said earlier. So we can provide job, profession, businesses. They can buy better lives today. Our bank can do CSR activities, social service program, where free education, information, guidance, support. We are a global community. God sent us on this globe, not in India, not in, we are using two common resources, air and water. That is, below, we are using commonly. There is no border for air and water. So we have to understand this. And every sector, every aspects of life, we can create our, WPS, tourism, home, hostel, community center, to connect globe, to feel universe as a home, as we are one family. For connecting all, every country is required initial expenses, for any kind of development, any kind of investment, community home and basic arrangement. For all good reason and vision, please support me by, pricing the permission to raise fund by banking institution and help needy people for their livelihood. We definitely get better satisfaction after 1 year. And our peace shall increase every year in terms of number and countries. Together we shall start it. For better tomorrow, we must spread it. That's it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much, Brother Rajarauji.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you so much. Today, it's an amazing session. All presentations are really wonderful. Thank you, dear Tarun Tiwari, brother, putting forward your ideas for the betterment of nations, people, peace. Thank you so much. You always come with some innovative ideas, but it takes a lot of time to understand.
Yes.
We'll sit together. We should plan, because
as
whatever.
As I'm director of World Peace Summit appointed by you.
Yes, yes,
So it's
yes.
it's
Really,
my
brother. Really,
responsibility.
we take it to forward, and we do good things for people, dear brother. You
Thank
are the director, and you have got a great responsibility, because with great power comes great responsibility, with great responsibility, and you have everything to do. You do. I know that, brother. Thank you so much. And I thank all the keynote speakers, chief guests. Yes, really, today you have done a fabulous job. Really, I keep on working on many areas, but this is the one area which I ignored. That's a very sad thing. But after this summit, I am planning to concentrate on that area. Actually, I work for 3 months and I take rest for 3 months and keep on doing other things. I think that those things also benefit, but not immediately, but in future at some point, because whatever the things that I did in 2016, they are helping me now. So I think that whatever the things that I am doing in 2022 and 23, and there will be certainly a day in future, certainly that will come in, that will help us. But as a human being, our mindset is we want instant gratification. So that is also very important because as we are facing crises and expecting something in future, they may come or may not come, and having family, many responsibilities, so many questions will come. But anyway, without money, we can't do anything. That is for so actually we are planning many physical activities, but if you don't have funding, you can't do anything. So what's the reason if you have so many ideas when you don't have money or funding? So certainly that area should be focused. Okay, if you see if nations are getting bettered or getting broken, that is because of youth. If youth have work, they have financial stability, then they are the nation's pillar. But if they don't have, you know what they would do? They become antisocial elements. They do anything. So it is our responsibility as their advanced generation. It is our responsibility to throw some light on the issues, get it to the notice of governments, and doing our best in eradicating all these bad incidents. So really, thank you, Excellencies. Thank you so much for doing a commendable job. I got inspired. Actually, me and Professor Dr. Vijay Karan have been thinking that, sir, let's start it physically. I am announcing it. Let's start physically. That's what I'm saying. But I am getting terrified because I feel to play in safe zone because due to our constraints. But there are times when we have to take some decisions and move forward from those constraints and clutches and barriers. Because I tell people keep on break all the barriers. But when it comes to me, just think of the family and okay, let's be cool sometime. So that's what we think. But anyway, this year really we are planning on a bigger canvas. We are requesting governments, we are requesting intergovernmental organizations for the promotion of sustainable development goals at our level best, and by doing some international projects. Actually, last year we have 30 projects meetings, but in the last, somehow we didn't opt those projects. We don't know why, but after the completion of these World Peace Summit, nearly we had 30 meetings with some eminent organizations, but we couldn't choose one. We don't know the reasons. But anyway, this year we are thinking that let's move forward and do some good things for the society, because if we do good to the society, then it will come to our family. So in both way, we'll get better. Really, Excellencies, a fantastic job you have done. You have inspired, ignited many doing in that arena, work and economical growth. So now we have a beautiful session, second session. It's so speed and so energetic, so enthusiastic. Our excellent speakers are here. Thank you for patiently waiting. Actually, we said 9:30, but it has become 9:15. But anyway, it deserves. Thank you, Excellencies. Now I invite a senior professor, Professor Dr. Rashmi Gujarati, a campus director, rector, KC Group of Institutions. I invite Her Excellency to give her version of this SDG 8. Over to you, ma'am. I request once again, please do maintain time 5 to 7 minutes so that we can give time to others. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much for inviting me in this program, and I congratulations to you that your team is working very hard for the world peace. As we know that UN has took this agenda in 2015 and to be completed up to 2030. The SDG goals are there, and we know that there are 17 goals, and it is basically for sustainable development for our society. And it has become our duty to support UN Sustainable Development Goals, because the slogan is that no one should left behind. So today, our goal is SDG 8. It is related with decent work and economic development, because economic is a very important in each and every country. Without economic, no country can be developed. So what is the matter of the economic growth? What's the goal here? It is basically to promote the inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment and decent work to all. This is the important part, that we should give the work to all. If each and every one person is getting a work, it means that the economic is going to be growth, because the country GDP has been counted with a per capita income. And how the per capita income will be increased? Then if every person is getting employment, then the per capita income will increase, and with that the national income will be increased and GDP will be grow. Point is there that how we should help there. Why? The poverty reductions is only possible through stable and well-paid jobs. Nearly 2.2 billion people lives below the poverty line, and it is around US dollar 1.90 poverty line. So it is a very important that we have to understand that how we can bring the people from the poverty line. How many people are unemployed, that we have to understand. According to the International Labour Organization, we can see that 5.6% of the global population were unemployed. And we can see that after the COVID, it was a big crisis for many people to find the job again back. How many jobs have lost by the persons, and many of the countries are still struggling to develop their economy. As India is now, we can say India is the biggest #1 country in the biggest population. But then also, we have to understand that India has stable his economic, and now also India is on the position of the 5th GDP world ranking. But then also need to be increased. So it is a very important to get job to every person. And if they all got a job, it will extreme poverty. And because if every person is getting a job, means then everybody have a money, they can spend their daily life and they can live and survive in their daily life. In addition, creating jobs, we also need to improve conditions for some of the women and men who are working, but not earning enough to lift themselves and their family out of the poverty. If I talk about the women and girls, they must also get a right position in the society. And we have SDG 5, gender equality. So when we put the gender equality and when we give the employment to both gender, it means that we are giving the right position to the male and female. Society as whole benefit when more people are being productive and contributing to their country's growth. If every person is supporting to contribute their country, every person is productive employment, every person is getting a decent work, it means that they are getting the job and they can remove the unemployment. Now the point is that what is the decent work? What did it mean? When we talk about the economic growth, we say that every person get a job. So all persons have a earning. So the economic will be grow. But when we talk about the employment, then it have to be understand that what is a decent work? Decent work means that the opportunity for everyone to get work. That is very important, that it should be a productive. It should be a delivers a fair income, security in the workplace, social protection for families, better prospects for personal development and social integration. It is also important that all women and men are given an equal opportunity in the workplace. Now, since SDG is focusing on gender equality and reduce the inequality, then everybody is getting a same opportunity in the workplace. And if they are getting a decent work opportunity related with their specialization, it means that they are getting a decent work. Now there is a points to be fixed, that what we can do to fix these all issues which are surrounding us. So the providing youth the best opportunity to transition to a decent job calls for investing in education or training or highest education, high possible quality, providing youth with skills that much can give a opportunity to them. With that, our government in India, our government is supporting Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. They are trying to give a skill development programs, and the organizations are adopting and giving the opportunity to our students, our people from 18 to 35 age. If they are unemployed, they can develop themselves, their skills, in which area they have a specialization or in which area they have an interest. With that, the government is supporting to the entrepreneurship to bring new ideas with an innovative way and start their business. With the startup, they can stand in the market. Here I am going to share you my PPT. I cannot able to participate as a screen sharing. Please, can you allow me?
Yes, please now.
Is it visible?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So when we are talking related with the economic development, it is very important that what the goal is giving, what it's to be promote for a sustainable economic growth and to give employment, decent work to all. So here are few points which I have selected related that the goals stand for a decent work and economic growth, means that everyone should help everyone to achieve success in the economic growth. Now, the important point is what? When we say the agenda is that no one leave behind, everybody should get a good opportunity. Now, how everybody will get a good opportunity, this is very important, because we have to support them in everywhere, not only in one place. Many of the workplace, we have seen the peoples, those who are not giving the chance to other. So here what this goal is saying to us, it is giving a message that everybody should help everyone. Now, it is our duty that we have to help others to achieve the goals. We have to help to others to success in their life. We have to help them. If they will success in their life, mean that at last it will be a economic development. So it's become our duty in our society. We have to help everyone. Why 8 goal is important to achieve? Because if we talk about the all goals from 1 to 17, 8 goal is a very important because it is related with the economic. And we all know very well that without economic, nothing can be done. So it is very important to achieve. What is the purpose? We have to understand that many people on this planet have to work in very poorly working condition only to able to survive for another day. We have listened that a lot of the people are working, lot of the laborers are working, but they get a money for a one day. Next day they have to think that today also again I have to earn and I have to work and I have to earn the money. Many of the peoples are there who are surviving in the society and they are living under the poverty line. Many of the children in the world, they have work up to 12 hours a day to be able to help their families. We know very well that many of the children are working for their family. We have seen a lot of places that the kids are working. Even we say that child labor is not allowed, but then also, I think that we or in our society, many of the workplace, they are supporting for child labor. Why we kept child labor in our shop? Why we kept child labor in our company? Even what we have to do, the company have to go for a CSR, and company have to help them to grow them. Company have to help them to give a good education. Recently, I was watching one video that the army man was saying that they have saw a lot of the childs are there who were there for a work. Then what he did, he started a small school with the 2, 3, 4 students, and he started to give them education, and slowly he has started his small school. So I think that if we all, because last to last year in India, Prime Minister has given one message that everybody should adopt a one girl child to give a education. Means that if we are the largest
Conclusion, please, ma'am.
country in the world, if we are fifth position in the world, means that we have to help to our country. If we support our society, if we support these kids, if we start to remove the child labor, if we start to support them in the education, means that we are going to change our country, we are going to change our society. That is a big goal, that is a big agenda of the SDG. Because I have seen a lot of the events were going on, we were focusing on the SDG goals, we talk about but always I think that what is the point, how we should support, how we will support to our society. The point is that we have to take initiatively. We have to come in front and we have to help. Is my PPT is visible?
I'm
Hello?
requesting, please conclude it, ma'am. Okay, visible, please conclude it.
Okay. So to help the people to work in this condition, we need to give them a better life. This is a very important for us to help the society. And if each and every person are taking initiatively, because this our submit is specially to give a motivation to each and everyone that we should support our society, and by that we can spread the peace around the world. We will help in UN Sustainable Development Goals, which agenda has been took by UN 2030. With that, I give a big thanks to organizer who is organizing this event. And basically, I understand that their motive is to bring the world peace around the world. Thank you very much for organizing this big event.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really sorry, ma'am, because due to time constraints, because we have to conclude it by 10:30. But we soon will arrange some other program with people like you, and we'll make you some huge time. But this time, please excuse us due to time constraints. Now I invite Dr. Anjum Qureshi, ma'am. Manju ma'am also joined. We recognize her presence. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Anjum Qureshi, ma'am, is a special person because we frequently see her as a moderator, anchor, chair to different programs. But I'm seeing it as the first time. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We think we are very fortunate to have your presence as a speaker because you are well known as moderator and chair. Now I invite Dr. Anjum Nazir Qureshi ji, Assistant Professor, Rajiv Gandhi College of Engineering, Research and Technology. Over to you, Excellency, for your presentation for 5 to 6 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Raja, sir. And it's a great pleasure for me for being on this platform. And speaking about SDG 8, and yes, of course, SDG 8, as we talked about the decent work and economic growth. Well, I was listening to the other speakers who joined earlier, and they have given a lot of input on this topic. Well, I would like to say, being from India, we know that 60% of the population still lives in the villages. So when we are talking about economic growth, so it is a time that we should concentrate on villages as well, especially the women and the girls, the young girls living around there. Because there are many villages in India where we don't have the facilities. The women still are not given so much of importance. In cities, in the urban areas, the situation has developed a lot. We are having better situation in cities, but in rural areas, we need to work. Well, in India, if we see for the last 2 decades for the women, especially for the women, there are groups which are called as a self-help group, which have been working together, and which the women come together and they work. And but they are also having a lot of schemes. But these women, because they are not so well educated, they are unaware of the scheme. Here you see the SDGs, because this conference has been discussing the SDGs, the last 7 SDGs, and we even have promoted this. If you see, all these SDGs are interrelated. They can't work. If we just try to concentrate on SDG 8, it cannot be successful if we don't concentrate on the earlier SDGs, especially the gender equality, where we need to provide equal opportunities to, to all the genders, where both the men and women should be allowed to work. And especially we have to focus on education. Now, based on an engineering background, somewhere I feel is we need to promote the young generations to go for research, because that is very much required. Because in India, yes, research is going on. I don't say that research is not going on, but the research is just limited to papers. Even at the PhD level, when the people do, they have only research level implementation. They don't put that research into practical application. But we need to encourage the students to come up with innovative ideas. Like in the last week in our college, we had 2 days event, which was called as local solutions to local problems. And the students came up with so many amazing ideas, because the place where I belong, some of the problems that we have is pollution. It's a lot of it's very hot in summers and all. So we have, and especially the man-animal conflict. Well, Singapore is called the tiger capital, but of India, but still we have a man-animal conflict. So yes, the students came up with so many amazing ideas. There were 2 days conference, and the people from industries, and they were all guiding them and judging them. So that was really a very great event. So in that, we just encourage the students to come up with research. In fact, NEP also talks about encouraging research. So if we want to convert our India into a self-reliant India, is the time that the women and the youngsters, they should be encouraged for coming up with research. We should encourage them for innovation, and especially not only coming up with innovations, but changing their innovations into practical applications, going for startups, changing themselves into entrepreneurs. That is also necessary. And before concluding, I would just like to just add one more point. Because yes, this event is called as the World Peace Summit. And as I know, Raja Rao sir always talks about global peace. So for decent work and economic growth, one more point that I would like to say is, if we want economic growth of the world, so one thing is necessary, that we should promote peace. We should say no to war. I don't want to mention any of the wars, but any war that you see around the world, it is not the 2 countries that is getting affected, but it is the whole world that is getting affected. If you look at the recent wars, we know the people have to come back to their native places. They have to come back to their country. The children have to leave their education and come back to their homes. So if we have such situations, of course, this economic growth will not happen. The people come back to their countries, but what after that? Are they going to get an employment? Are the students going to get a chance to study immediately after coming back to? It's a very big question. Well, it can be handled, but it is not so easy. So for economic growth, I would just like to conclude and say that, yes, just promote peace everywhere and mention that global peace, say no to wars, and of course, as I said, promote research among the students and give equal opportunities to. So that's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
So great, Excellency. Hello. Okay. So great, Excellency. Really amazing. The way you put forward your ideas from family, from women. That's so amazing. Really, wonders will happen. They start from us. They start from us. The way you have portrayed, that's so great. And first of all, I want to appreciate you. You are, first of all, a great speaker, next to moderator or chair, because you have good speaking skills and all. So amazing. Thank you, Excellency. I didn't expect this, but you went beyond our imagination and expectations. Thank you so much. Now I invite our keynote speaker, Manju Gupta ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Yes. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, we are really sorry.
No, that's okay, sir.
Due to these things will happen, but anyway, this is the second session, ma'am. Please make it between 5 to 7 minutes. Due to now, let me invite our keynote speaker and the special guest of this program.
Thank you so much, sir.
Director of Strategic Management, Mangalmayi Group of Institutions, Greater Noida, India. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. At first, I must congratulate to Dr. Rajarao and the team and Dr. Vijay Caroline, who has organized this World Peace Summit, where we are talking about different issues and aspects. And the topic which we have chosen for today is like about decent work and economic growth. So I'm listening the entire session for last 2 years. So speaker has already talked about a lot about how the decent work and economic growth can be promoted. But I personally feel that it is definitely a global goal where we need to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, which is full and productive employment and decent work for all, which is one of the most essential parameter, that there should be productive employment and decent work for everyone. But if in terms of layman, if we talk about what exactly the SDG 8 is, so SDG 8, we majorly focus on sustainable economic growth and high level of economic productivity for the creation of well-paid quality jobs, as well as resource efficiency in consumption and productions. As far as I'm an educationist for last 20 years, I mean, I'm into this academic field. What I feel that nowadays, every institution have changed their teaching, pedagogies. They are majorly focusing on skill enhancement. Now, degree is just a piece of paper if you're not having the skill and skill-based education. So somewhere when we provide skill-based education to the student, then in that case, we are we are generating products. So I generally say the students are never the customer, they are the product, and product has to be skill savvy. They should have to have skills in their hands so that they can place themselves in the industry as and when it is required. But then the question arises, what is the role of peace in the sustainable development? We are talking at once that we need to create the jobs. We have to have the economic growth of the country by providing jobs in various sectors. And this is only possible when we have the skill-based education. But then what is the role of peace in sustainable development? How we can say that the peace can enhance the sustainable development of the country? So as far as my understanding, when we say that peace and sustainable development, they both go hand in hand because it reduces poverty and prevent conflicts. When we say that it prevents conflicts, then it translates to a healthier business environment, and that allows for a more effective delivery of products and services. So as every now and then we see that the different kind of riots are happening in the world or in India specifically. So then somewhere it is losing the economic growth of the country. COVID has already played a very big role in the slower down the economic growth of the country. And similarly, when we are seeing that everywhere there is conflicts arising for one or the other reason, which is definitely one of the hurdle for the growth and development of the country. So we need to be more careful about reduce the poverty. But how this poverty can be reduced? By promoting the peace. So everything is very, very much interrelated. But now the other term which is coming in place is economic growth. How this economic growth is the central trend for SDG 8, because in SDG 8 we are majorly focusing on economic growth. How India has been growing at the rate of 7.5% per annum. So every year by 7.5% we are increasing. So however, our aim is to grow to the rate of 9 to 10%, which is the vision of Modi government. They really want that economy has to be grown up by 9 to 10% by 2024. But how this India growth story has been driven by the service sector, which constitutes 62% of India's GDP. So definitely we are fortunate enough because we are the academicians, we are helping the nation building by providing education to the student. So that means the major service sector is constituting 60% of India GDP. But then what are the three major pillars of SDG 8? I think it is very, very clear that the three major pillars of SDG 8 is social, economical, and environmental. Social, that means we need to be peaceful, we have to promote peace and calm everywhere. And then economic development can only happen with the help of the skill development. But how we can achieve this when we know that these are the three pillars of sustainable development or economic growth of the country? But then the question arises among every speaker or maybe every person whoever is present here, that how we can achieve SDG 8 goal. So we need to be very, very effective. We have to take immediate measure to eradicate, forced labor. We have to end modern slavery. We have to, reduce human trafficking and secure the prohibition and elimination of the worst form of child labor, including recruitment and use of child soldiers. And by 2025, which is as per the government vision, that child labor will be stopped specifically in India, I'm talking about. But then we have a lot of challenges with us, specifically in the field of SDG 8, where there are different challenges. Challenges are like, corporate progress and action on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So other SDG goal are focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion as well. But then this is one of the major challenge and big challenge, when we look out the growth of economic growth of the country. So beyond pride, if we talk about rights of LGBT people and corporate responsibility of respect, this again, everything come under the economic development, because when we are giving equal right to LGBT community, so then somewhere they will also contribute into the growth of the country and economic development of the country. So we need to be very inclusive. Our digital economy should be inclusive for everyone, because now we are more and very much focusing on the digital economy of the country, because now we feel that AI and robotics and automation and blockchain is taking very big step in development of the country, because now everything is driven by IT. When we say that IT is driven by IT, then AI is playing a very, very major role. So that means we can only achieve all these factors when we have an inclusive, nature, or maybe inclusive growth factor in hand. But then how these, economic development can happen, because there are 8 specific goals for economic development. We call it efficiency, equity, economic freedom, full employment, economic growth, security, and sustainability. So economic goals are not always mutually compatible. The cost of addressing any particular goal or set of goal is having fewer resources to commit to the remaining goals. So that means when we are talking about SDG goals, so every goal is interrelated, because I told you today we are talking about SDG 8, where it is focusing on majorly on peace and economic development. But then how this economic development can happen? How we can increase the peace? Because ultimately we need to look for the economic freedom. We have to give equal right to the LGBT community. We have to focus on diversity. We have to be very careful about equality and inclusion. So that means, and in earlier goals we have talked about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that means every goal is interrelated. As far as my understanding is concerned, in SDG 16, peace. So how SDG 16 is related to peace when we are talking about peace in SDG 8? So basically, SDG 8 is also promoting just peaceful and inclusive society. So here we are talking about inclusive economic growth. So ultimately, both the things are interrelated. So SDG 16 is also, about promoting peaceful, inclusive societies, providing access to justice for all, and building effective and accountability, as well as inclusive institution at all levels. So when we are talking about that, SDG 16 is providing, accountable, inclusive institution at all level. At the same time, SDG 8 is talking about how we can increase the economy of the country by, inculcating peace in the society and in culture. So peace can only be, attained. Peace can only be achieved when we have the skilled or maybe educated people in our society or in our country. So we, as an education, is playing major role to give education to the community, and we are providing them how we can increase the peace. And peace is a way of living together so that all members of the society can accomplish their human rights. So human right can only be accomplished when we have peace, when we can live together, when we do not have any grudges. So it should not be only in India, but across the world, I must say. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. as you are a management, as you are a management related person, really that was so awesome, because in the context of India, in the context of Indian economy, the way you have presented statistics and the growth of our nation with GDP, really that's commendable, Excellency.
But I must
Really?
address one point also, because up till now in India or across the world, in fact, how do we measure the economy of the country? We measure the economy of the country by GDP. Basically, GDP is the tool to measure the economy of the country. But now, I, along with Niti Aayog and the Professor Umberto Salpazo, Professor Zef Kole, those who are the very big strategists. So we are focusing on how we can increase the economy of the country by adding K factor into SDG. We call it as GDKP, where K is the knowledge factor. So we need to address, we have to inculcate knowledge into every aspect of the society, where we can increase the knowledge factor. Knowledge can be, achieved by any of the skills. So in that way, we can increase the economy of the country. And same way we are talking about in SDG 8, where we are, talking about how this economic development can happen by providing knowledge and enhancement and skill education majorly.
Thank you, Excellency. That's so amazing and wonderful. Thank you for your wonderful presentation, and thank you for your wonderful presence.
Thank you so much.
Excellency.
Thank you.
Now I invite Dr. Poonam Goti, who is the principal of Chitra Group of Institutions. Over to you, Excellency. Dr. Poonam Goti, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, very good evening, ma'am. Thank you.
Just a minute, sir.
Yes, please take your time.
Yes, sir. I am very grateful to giving me this opportunity to present my view in front of you all. First, what is SDG 8? SDG 8 is about recent work of economic growth and is one of the 70 sustainable development goals which were established by United Nations General Assembly in 2015. Main goal of SDG 8 recognizes the importance of sustained economic growth and high level of economic productivity for the creation of well-paid quality jobs, as well as resources efficiency in consumption and production. It calls for opportunities for full employment and decent work for all, alongside the eradication of forced labor, human trafficking, and child labor, and the promotion of labor rights and safe and secure working environment. Main target of its SDG 8 are: first, in least development countries, the gross domestic product growth should be 7% per annum. Second, achieve high levels of economic productivity through technological upgrading and innovation. Third, policies that support creation of different jobs, entrepreneurship, formulation, and growth of micro, medium, and small size enterprises through access for financial services, improve progressively by 2030 that we increases efficiently in consumption and production of goods and help in decouples economic growth from environmental degradation. Fifth is by 2030 achieve full and productive employment and decent work for all women and men and person with disability, and equal pay for work to everyone. By 2030, reduce the by 2030 reduce the proportion of youth not engaged in employment education by training. The next one is to end modern slavery and human trafficking, and by 2025 and child labor in all its form, protect labor rights and promote safe and secure working environment for all workers. By 2030, promote sustainable tourism and create new jobs and promote local culture and products. Strengthen domestic financial institutions, increase and expand access to banking, insurance, and financial service for all. What is the condition and what is the growth of SDG 8 in India? In India, economic growth is one of the central tenets of SDG 8. India has been growing at the rate of 7.5% per annum. However, the aim is to grow at the rate of 9 to 10% per annum. India's growth story has been driven by the services sector, which constitute 62% of India's GDP. And next is in India, the labor force participation rate is around 50%, with women's participation being much lower than men's. The unemployment rate in India was 6.9% in December 2021, which is higher than pandemic levels. Why is SDG 8 importance? SDG 8 recognizes the importance of sustainable economic growth and high levels of economic productivity, of the creation of well-paid quality job, as well as resource efficiency in consumption and production. What are the three pillars of SDG 8? Sustainable development is based on the three fundamental pillars: social, economics, and environmental. The three key areas of sustainability are environmental, social, and economic. The three pillars are important because they help to better understand sustainability, and they are also used as a model for standards and certification to evaluate the sustainability of organization, countries, products, and services. What are the challenges in India to achieve SDG 8? Generating employment opportunities, robust empowerment of the informal workers, and bridging the gender gap in earnings are areas that require immediate attention to achieve its SDG 8 in India. How to achieve SDG 8? Take immediate and effective measure to indicate forced labor and modern slavery and human trafficking, and secure the prohibition and elimination of the worst form of child labor, including recruitment and use of child soldiers, and by 2025 end child labor in all its form. What is the role of peace in sustainable development? Promoting peace and sustainable development reduce poverty and prevent conflict, translating to a healthier business environment that allow for a more effective delivery of products and services. Thank you so much, sir and
Thank you,
ma'am.
Excellency. Today we have a last presentation from Steffi Santana Mary, an assistant professor from Bangalore. Over to you, Excellency.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, all. I hope I'm audible and everyone is doing good.
It's perfect, perfect.
Yeah. So, see, everybody was talking about SDG 8, and I want to focus on two important targets. So, SDG 8, target 8.5 and 8.6. So, that'll be the address of today from my speech. So, focusing on equality and discrimination, as of today, we are zooming into SDG 8, which has more of like economic growth and decent work. We have to admit that this SDG goal is complex. But then, in a very substantiate level, I also find this inclusion of SDG 8 for the development in 2030 agenda. Uh, it's more fundamental premise, and the sustainability which of course comes out of this SDG 8 provides balance, and it kind of gives a status. So on the whole, it is really about rethinking what we give to the economic opportunities, what we give into the individuals that are going to maybe have an exploration of what they are going to do. Apart from that, to give a present view, hundreds of people suffer from discrimination in the workplace. It This not only violates the basic human rights, but it kind of has a wilder or social economic consequences as well. Discrimination, it's like it gives in more or it wastes more human talent. There is no economic progress if we go on to discriminate someone at a workplace, or this actually accentuates social tension, or it brings out inequalities. So that will be the main focus of my speech today. Apart from that, combating these kind of discrimination is an essential part of promoting the decent work that this SDG goal is going to offer. And see, as we talk about SDG 8, there are like targets and goals. My speech is mostly on the targets. And SDG 8 is made up of 10 targets. And this doesn't mean that we have to implement every target into like the present day scenarios, but we can go one by one. See, first, our goal is to have equal opportunities to everyone, irrespective of what gender they are. Even if they are maybe people with disabilities, we have to consider them. So target 8.5, by 2030, the main target is to achieve full and productive employment, apart from adding to decent work along with men, women, and mostly young people in the line, and maybe say people with disabilities in the pipeline as well. And moving on to these profound concepts, the measures have to be out of hourly basis. See, maybe say the average salary between male and female in a heterogeneous group might be different, but then if we go on to treat everyone equal, we can give in more progress. So unemployment rates, they are higher for women more than men in most of the countries, and also it is equal to it equates to young people who are aged between like 15 to 24. So a pandemic, of course, has a major hit, and because of the COVID, the global employment rate has gone down to 6.5%, and after the pandemic it was only 1.4 that got up. And the worldwide, it has increased more of like unemployment. So youth and women, when compared to man, are mostly the hard hit. And to give a correct stats, it is like 8.7%. And see, when we compare to 2020 and 2023, it is like 5% less when compared to unemployment. So disabled people in this case have more disproportionate like unemployment rates on the whole. And I would say in 2014 it is more of 35%, but then it has gone down. But after the pandemic, it has gone up. So the target of 8.5, SDG goal 8.5, is equal opportunity to everyone, irrespective of what gender they are, irrespective of maybe say disabled people as well. So equal opportunity is what it is talking about. And to give more information on 8.6, see, youth in an unemployment state, even though if they're educated, there is no progress, there is no economic development. And I agree with most of the keynote speakers. But if you can follow your education to promote something that can contribute to the economic growth of society, that is what we go on to have, to think a better future. See, after pandemic, many of my friends, they have started like entrepreneurship, and maybe a small startup can also contribute. So that is what we are looking into. On the whole, I would like to conclude by saying that economic growth should be more of a positive force for the whole planet. And this is why we must make sure that we focus on the financial progress rather than harming the environment. So we must protect labor acts, and we must put a stop to child labor, or we must give uh, our voice against modern slavery. That is what I'm talking about. And if we can promote job creation which can access banking, or which can maybe say which can promote financial services, we can make sure that everybody gets benefit out of it. And see, by 2020, uh, we had reduced the proportion of unemployment. But then if we can do that, by 2030 we can achieve full and productive employment, maybe say with decent work. That is what the SDG goal stands for. So, which includes men, women, disregard of gender, which is more of inclusive in nature, with equal pay and equal values. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. Maybe say you are a good lecturer, good assistant professor. The way you are presenting, treating us as your students, really the flow, the choice of words, everything. Maybe say you are talking about physically challenged people. So great. You are kind in heart. That's why you try to cover many dimensions to this speech. Especially you are the blessed one first, because you have good knowledge about financial matters. So your family will be blessed first. Then with you, your society will be blessed, and overall nation and grow. Thank you. You have a good scope to do many things as you are young in age. Wish you all the best. And thank you for your beautiful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Steffi ma'am's speech is not the last speech, because we have one beautiful, the woman with the crown. Priyanka Yogi ma'am has just joined. So it's going to be the final speech, concluding speech. And 5 minutes, please, because we already announced that it's a conclusion. Joined in the last. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, hello. Can I start for my speech?
Yes, please, please.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now we are inviting Priyanka Yogi ma'am, librarian, Uttar Vienna College of Education. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Namaskar. First, my hearty thanks to respected Raja Rao sir, who is organized World Peace. This is the most important for world. So we want peace. The first thing that comes to peace is for peace. The world's environmental infrastructure. Dangerous human is a good and cool, beautiful environment. Everyone is desirable. Due to another war, in addition to the war of riots, the turmoil is to be read in. Peace is excited to eat healthy. Eating currently, due to technical development, many countries have improved, but there are still many regions of the world. There are also those areas where there is a lack of appropriate earning. Decent work and economic growth very necessary for the development and economic equality, because decent work and economic growth through people can live standard lives. Decent work and economic growth, SDG 8. Sustainable development has a 12 target and 17 indicators. Today our point is, why are born labor child? Why are born beggar? If we are find 17 goals of SDG, no poverty, zero hunger, everything's relate with economical condition. If economical condition have a solution, then everything will be a solution. Importance of economic growth. Decent work and economic growth will fill the targets 2030. High economic earning can be eliminated and poverty, meaning for all things, and it is possible to meet all needs through higher money earnings. For healthy and standard life living, need highest income. Highly money will be stored thought the power earning. Relationship between decent work and economic growth. There are deep relationship of economic growth with the decent work. Decent work will happen as much as possible to make the effect of economic development. Importance of decent work. A decent work through we can income, highest income. And my last point is step of economical development. One first step is target fulfill or of SDG 2030, and free training and workshop can arrange for those people who are economical backward classes. For higher income to meet every person of income of family. Need few syllabus for school and colleges about decent work and economical growth. Trade business is another source of highest income. Import and export business have same. For women and men, income is mandatory. We have many options for economical development and economical growth. Just choose current way and apply it. Thank you so much.
Excellency, thank you so much. That's so beautiful and a beautiful presentation, a beautiful conclusion to the program. So today we are about to end our 8th day. Actually, we have announced it at 10:30, but it's 10:50. By the end of Vote of Thanks, it would be 11. But anyway, it deserves. I invite Professor Dr. Vijay Caroline ma'am for concluding remarks. After that, I will go for Vote of Thanks. And over to you.
Thank you. It's an amazing day. I'm hearing to every eminent speaker. Everyone has given excellent inputs, and takeaways are many, sir. We have to take many takeaways from this platform today from the global leaders. Decent work, economic growth. So decent work, as every eminent global leaders said, that to be provided without any gender disparity. So everyone has the right to have to lead a decent life, have provided a good job. That is important. So we know many problems and challenges are high in India, and that has to be addressed by the humanitarian global leaders, so that we can provide employment to everyone and make them understand, at least by taking up innovative ideas and innovations, they can start up their startups and support the society at their level. So they can provide employment to many. So in this way, the youth especially, who are technically sound and who have good skills, they have to think not to waste the energy, but they have to tap up the energy and think about for the welfare of the society. They have to work. That is main important thing we have to focus. So I request all the global leaders, educators, and everyone, social activists, to take up many awareness programs, not to depend on government for jobs. It's very difficult to have jobs from government, but we have to see that develop our own organization which support many to provide employment. So skill development is also very important. Whoever is skilled in the particular profession or interest, they can go on and start their own startup and support many. So in this way, awareness programs are very much required. So that's what I have taken the takeaway from the eminent global leaders, that employment is very important, especially India. Unemployment is high, that has to be addressed. And economic growth can be increased only through proper employment and a good lifestyle. So that is important. Healthy mind and healthy body is also important for the economic growth. So we have to work together for the upliftment of the youth and have a good environment globally, so that all the people can lead a peaceful life with good, decent job and with economic flourishment. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the inspiring concluding remarks. A great day about to end. I recently happened to see a video of a deep dance master who looks very brave in that video. Those are his last words spoken by him before committing suicide. He has a great respect for his parents, great veneration for his sister, but he was helpless at that time. He committed suicide and he died. But he spoken so bravely. With that bravery, he can fight very easily challenges. But you know, financial clutches, they are unbeatable at times. It seems to be like that. So I happen to see so many people like that in the newspapers and media. But this recent incident made me to think is actually people must have some idea about their financial status. Otherwise, because his friends are speaking about him a lot. Of course, when I saw that video and that person, he doesn't look like a timid person. He is very brave. He looks like that. But the circumstances made him like that. Financial circumstances. So one should be very careful about his financial planning. So really, while I was going through all these sessions and all, we should be very careful about our economical growth and our status and all, because so that we know how to spend and how much spend, how to minimize the overburdens and all, if there is no planning. Right? So anyway, Excellencies, without financial planning, we are seeing unexpected turns and events in people's personal lives. So we should be very careful about that. Because on paper, it seems everything okay. At times we know, but we ignore it. The pathetic situation about human beings is they do not recognize it until it comes to an end. We know, just we ignore it. So that is the thing with us. We should not. This is very, very serious issue because it won't be in our hands. If it goes beyond our hands, it won't be in our hands. We can't control it. Because there are many incidents I saw in my personal life, people calling and describing their situations and events, and the videos that we see, and in media, there are people who think they are the billionaires. For example, the best example, cafe owner in Bangalore. Really, that's so sad thing, but the same was lifted by his wife. That is the different scenario. So financial planning, economic growth, work, that too decent. These are essential for human beings, because we always talk about human rights. We always talk about human rights. You know why we talk about human rights? Because for decent life, we need decent life, decent living. Okay, that comes only when we have decent work and financial growth, economic growth. So really amazing job, wonderful inputs. Every day we are taking some lessons. As we are staying here from beginning to end, we are taking more from these sessions. Really, so wonderful job. And I want to thank all the participants, whoever attended. Dr. Stephen, brother, thank you, brother. Thank you for joining. And Priyanka Yogi, ma'am, you are the last join, but thank you so much. You inspired a lot. Archana Priyadarshini, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for one more day, 8th day.
Thank you, sir.
Vishwanath Panigrahi, sir. Thank you, sir. We can see you here. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining.
sir.
Thank you so much for the support. Geeta Suryavanshi, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. One more day. 8 days, second week. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now, Poonam Goti, ma'am. Thank you for the work. Excellent work done by you. You have given beautiful insights, ma'am. And Professor Salman Musaji. And one more beautiful day. Thank you, dear brother. Is then Srikant Kalvikar, sir. How are you, sir? Getting better?
Thank you. I'm getting better. Yes, definitely.
Oh, today you are looking splendid.
Yeah.
By 12 you come with suit.
I will wear the blazer on the date you said.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I feel that in order to achieve SDG 8, the whole society, we need to entrepreneurize the society. Everyone in the society needs to be entrepreneurial quality. Simple thing everyone can achieve is to have eagle's eye, lion's heart, and a woman's voice. If you have this, definitely there is a progress. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are very happy today. Because to see you like this, very happy, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Then Simi Goshweji, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Steffi Santana Mary ma'am will give you man of the match today. You are so amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Amjori Vishwanath, brother, we are waiting for your turn to come. We'll meet on that day. Thank you, dear brother. Then Sidinama Daniel, thank you for joining and thank you for your presence. And each and everyone, I thank you. And last but not the least, Professor Dr. Vijay Kali, ma'am, as ever, whenever I say the word, same, standing tall, being the backbone, everything, running. Now, of course, from yesterday onwards, you are writing by staying in front. But in the beginning, you are unwell, but it's okay. Now you are in the front end and doing fantastic job, ma'am. Thank you so much. We have a beautiful journey, 8 days, and tomorrow is going to be one more wonderful day, Sustainable Development Goal 9, and some eminent people are coming tomorrow also, and that would be a great day. And with this note, today, with all these beautiful insights, memories, inputs, let us conclude this program and let's welcome to the great 9th day of Sustainable Development Goal 9 tomorrow. Thank you so much.